What's up, guys? This is Dan, and I am the bodybuilder in Thailand. What's up? Coming at you from Bangkok. So today I'm going to be talking about how I got married. So I got married when I was 21 years old, and I got divorced 2 years later when I was 23. It was definitely a life-changing experience. I mean, in some ways it matured me, and then in other ways it like stifled my development socially. So I had to play catch up for a couple of years after I got divorced because I was still a young guy. I was 21 years old when I, kind of left my social life. Because when you get married, it's you have a family, right? I didn't have any kids, but it's just different. It's different. You don't have the same social life as everyone else. So, like, for example, you don't really relate to people who are, like, college students anymore, right? And I actually went to college late, so I started college when I was 21. I started college the year I got married, and I graduated when I was 25. So, and I'm 26 now. So, getting married, I'll tell you about it, okay? I'll tell you what led up to it. So, I had a high school sweetheart, right? I had a high school sweetheart, and, we never actually got along. We were always fighting our whole relationship, okay? But we dated for 4 years, and so from 17 to 21. And then when we were 21, it was like, oh, we just, like, love each other so much. Like, nothing will stop us. And, like, my parents were like, oh, like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you're, like, gonna throw your life away. And I was like, no. Nothing could get through to my head. Nothing could get through to my head because I was so determined to make this commitment and to show that, we were the most important thing to each other. It was really, I must have been brainwashed. I blame some of it on my Mormon upbringing. And I'm not Mormon anymore. But it was a very tumultuous relationship when we were boyfriend and girlfriend. And then I guess we were engaged for like 3 or 4 months and then married for 2 years. And after we got married, she was like frigid, like she like didn't really like want to have sex, which was totally fucking crazy. You know what they say about how like when you get married, like your sex life is over. Like that's actually like from my experience true. It like there was something about like just being committed to one person like for the rest of your life that like kind of like I don't know, it kind of like calms down your sex drive or something. It's actually like a weird phenomenon because then, like as soon as like I was, like emotionally non-committed when we got separated, I was like, like sex drive, like the high regular sex drive came right back. So that was a really weird phenomena. I mean, the sex drive go down because of having a in-print commitment to someone. So. Yeah, we continued fighting. A week after we got married, she decided to go away from me because she didn't want to have sex with me. Okay, what the hell, right? Like, you can get the marriage annulled for that, for not consummating the marriage. That's like a reason, like you can check on the court papers. So that was really fucking odd because before we got married it was like really high sex drive and then like all of a sudden she just like went berserk when we got married. Anyways, she went and stayed at her parents' house for like a month, and then for some reason I wanted to get her back, so I did that, and then we continued fighting again for the next 2 years, just tearing each other apart. And then, finally I just said, we should end this because we should have a long time ago. And so basically it's kind of scary, like when you've been together with someone for that long, because by that time it was 6 years, and it's like you kind of feel like a codependency, like can I live without this person? Like when you've like grown up with them, but you definitely can. It just takes you a little while of catch up to get like your social learning back, social life back, up to speed, because I was still really like my social development was kind of capped at like 21. And then, now I was 23 and I had missed, some of those important, like, formative, like, social intelligence years. But what I did to remedy what that was I joined a fraternity, so I got thrown in big time in university like, major social situations, and that, caught me back up to speed really quick. Um, I'm thinking, like, yeah, it it was, I don't regret it because it's part of like my formative years, and like I guess I believe in the grandfather effect, like where if you've seen the movie Back to the Future, like if you go in the past and like change things, like the future won't end up the same way. And I'm actually like really happy with where I am right now. And I know that going through experience like that was like really fucking crazy and just like bizarre, and also one that I could look back on and check myself and be like, what the fuck were you thinking? And I can realize, like, okay, I made a big fucking mistake. Yeah, it's I think good in a way. Since I made it through and I'm not fucked. We dissolved the marriage on a cordial basis. Don't talk anymore. Don't talk at all. Um, and now marriage is something that is completely different to me too. Like I wouldn't want to get married, just to make a commitment to someone. Now I take into fact, what really is marriage. Like what it is it has a lot to do with the government, and I just don't see, why the fuck I would need to have the government validate my marriage or my relationship and say that it's official or something nowadays. Because I don't really think I'll ever get married. Because I'm like, maybe I'll like have a ceremony with somebody, who like we're like, oh yeah, we're soulmates or whatever, But like having the government validate it, I don't need that shit. I can validate it myself, you know. so, so it really like made me think about like like what is this, like what is marriage, and I think that our generation right here, we're the people right after the baby boomers. The baby boomers are on their way out, and we're the millennials, and we're like in right now. And I mean that's really like the fight right now, is that there's like like a second wave of economic depression. It's because of this. It's because of this fight really between the baby boomers and the millennial generation. So yeah, that was it. I've been married. I'm divorced. I'm much more mature in relationships now too, because I've been through all that fighting, all that tooth and nail fighting. Like I'm just over it. So if there's any I never do any power play stuff or anything anymore, and never say things like being mad, and who can be the most cruel to the other person to prove that that person loves them or some shit like that. Because people do this. People do this. I'm not the only one who's done this, and she did this too. I mean, everybody does. I know a lot of people in relationships that do this. They're like, if you love me, you'll back down. And so no need to do that anymore. And then the other thing is that in relationships now, like with problem solving, as soon as because I've been in so many fights, like these are all word fights, right? They were never physical fights. They were always just words, okay? That's what I mean when I say fights, is that they, now when a significant other that I may have gets upset, really I stop trying to like move my agenda forward right at that point, and I just go like, oh, you seem upset, and I must have done something to hurt your feelings, or like, oh, you seem upset. You must feel really frustrated right now. Can you tell me about that? That's what I say instead of really trying to move forward with any of my ideas, because I realize after having all those fights in my previous marriage that it sounds funny saying that if as soon as that like emotional thing goes down, where it's like you can just know when the fight goes far enough that there's nothing beneficial about moving your point of view forward. At this point, it's just emotions, and I mean, I really take it like as being like the man that I will, not just be this immature bitch that like is just like having a cat fight of words with my girl. So I just I'd say you seem really frustrated right now. Can you tell me about why you feel so frustrated? That must be really hard right now, feeling so much stress, and that really diffuses the situation, guys. So if you're having fights with your girlfriend, try that. Anyways, yeah, so I got married, I got divorced. This is Dan. I'm a bodybuilder in Thailand. Peace, peace, peace.